Lana Turner names the 7 lesbian actresses she hates most that she dated in secret with her. Lana Turner, born with the real name Julia Jean Turner on February 8, 1921 in Wallace, Idaho, a girl from a poor rural area who rose to become an immortal icon of Hollywood. Her life is a modern fairy tale, but full of real tragedies. From a 16-year-old girl skipping school and sipping soda at a diner in Los Angeles, she was discovered by a talent scout. That was the moment that changed everything. She stepped into the world of neon lights, with her first role in the film They Won't Forget in 1937, where the tight sweater earned her the nickname Sweater Girl, the Sweater Girl, a nickname that followed her through the early years of her career. In the 1940s and 1950s, Lana Turner became a top star at MGM Studios. She appeared in countless genres of films, from musicals to melodramas, from film noir to deeply emotional love stories. Films like Ziegfeld Girl in 1941, The Postman Always Rings Twice in 1946, Imitation of Life in 1959, and especially Peyton Place in 1957, the film that earned her a nomination for Best Actress at the Oscars. That was the peak of her career, where her acting talent was recognized, not just her outer beauty. She was the embodiment of Hollywood glamour, with her shimmering platinum blonde hair and mesmerizing eyes. But behind that glow was a life full of turmoil. Lana Turner's personal life was like a long-running drama series. She married 8 times to 7 different men, a number that made the public curious and gossip endlessly. She once said humorously but bitterly, "My goal was to have 1 husband and 7 children, but it turned out the opposite." That was how she viewed her romantic failures. She had only 1 daughter, Cheryl Crane, but her marriages kept falling apart, reflecting the stability she craved but never achieved. Let me tell you in detail about those men, because they are an indispensable part of Lana's journey. The first marriage to Artie Shaw, the famous jazz clarinetist, in 1940, a whirlwind romance that lasted only a few months. Shaw was intellectual but difficult, and they quickly divorced. Next was Joseph Stephen Crane, a promising restaurateur and actor. They married in 1942, but the marriage was annulled because Crane hadn't divorced his previous wife. They remarried in 1943, but divorced in 1944. From this marriage, Cheryl Crane was born in 1943, becoming the only light in her life. Then came Bob Topping in 1948, a wealthy New York socialite, brother of the Yankees owner. They divorced in 1952 due to work pressures and his alcohol addiction. The fourth marriage to Lex Barker, the Tarzan star, in 1953. But this was a dark chapter. Later, Cheryl accused Barker of sexually abusing her as a child, leading to divorce in 1957. Lana acted decisively to protect her daughter. Next was Fred May, a ranch owner, in 1960, but their different lifestyles led to separation in 1962. Robert Eaton, a hypnotist, in 1965, divorced in 1969, and finally, Ronald Pellar, also known as Dr. Dante, in 1969, a con artist, leading her to divorce in 1972 after financial scandals. But the greatest tragedy occurred in 1958. Johnny Stompanato, Lana's boyfriend, a mafia enforcer connected to Mickey Cohen, a relationship full of violence. On the night of April 4th, Cheryl, then only 14, stabbed Stompanato to death with a kitchen knife to protect her mother during a fierce argument at their home in Beverly Hills. The case shocked America, filling the newspapers. The investigation concluded it was justifiable homicide, self-defense. But the emotional scar haunted Lana and Cheryl forever. It was the moment where fame and personal tragedy intersected, forcing Lana to face the public's prying eyes. Beyond the public romances, Lana Turner had even deeper secrets. She was addicted to alcohol and cigarettes for most of her life. In the Hollywood industry at that time, these habits weren't rare, but they eroded her health. She successfully quit alcohol at age 60, but couldn't give up smoking. In 1992, she was diagnosed with throat cancer. Initially, there was hope because it was detected early, without affecting her voice. She underwent surgery, radiation, and in 1993 declared herself cured. But in 1994, the cancer returned, spreading to her jaw and lungs. In September 1994, she made her last appearance at the San Sebastian International Film Festival in Spain, receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, even though she was in a wheelchair. On June 29, 1995, she passed away at her home in Century City, Los Angeles, beside Cheryl, a sad end to a brilliant life. Now, we step into the most mysterious part, the part that makes this story lightly sensational but full of emotion. In the golden era of Hollywood, behind the glittering veneer of glamour and fantasy, there existed a secret world full of hidden passions, fierce struggles, and lingering personal grudges. Lana Turner, one of the most sensual icons of the time, was not only famous for her publicly stormy romances, but also for her discreet relationships with female colleagues, those whom she later declared she hated bitterly because of betrayal, jealousy, or heartbreak. In a rare private conversation, Lana is said to have listed 7 lesbian actresses she once dated secretly, each name carrying the weight of personal history and unresolved tensions. From my perspective, these stories are not just Hollywood rumors, but evidence of the complexity of sexuality and emotions in a society where everything had to be hidden. Lana, a strong but vulnerable woman, endured this additional layer of tragedy. Let me explore each name with you, with serious respect for history, mixed with a touch of mystery that makes you hold your breath, and emotions that touch your heart. 1. Barbara Stanwyck. According to whispers circulating in the studio circles, Lana and Barbara Stanwyck shared more than a few intimate evenings away from the public eye in the 1940s. Barbara, older and more experienced, is said to have led Lana into a secret romance during a short trip to the California coast, where they met by chance at a private resort. But the relationship quickly fell apart. Lana, craving emotional attention, felt abandoned when Barbara retreated into her own mysterious private life. "She taught me how to lie with my eyes," Lana once said cryptically, "and then used that very trick on me." Analyzing deeper, I see this as a typical example of power imbalance in same-sex romances of that era. Barbara represented independence, while Lana was still seeking stability, leading to inevitable pain. It's a sad chapter, making us reflect on the silent sacrifices stars had to endure. 2. Greta Garbo. Though Greta Garbo always maintained a distant and mysterious image, she was famous for forming intense private connections with a small group of women. Lana is said to have been in that circle for a short time, until Garbo refused to acknowledge her publicly, enraging the young actress. They met at an art party in New York, where the romantic atmosphere of the late night sparked passion. Lana described Garbo as a lipstick ghost and declared, "She made me feel invisible right when I needed to be seen the most." The brief connection ended in silence, with no further words spoken. From my personal perspective, Garbo represented the self-chosen loneliness of great stars, and Lana's hatred for her likely stemmed from the fear of abandonment, a recurring theme in her life, making this story even more touching. We can imagine Lana, a girl from Idaho, suddenly thrust into that cold world, and that pain still echoes. 3. Tallulah Bankhead, a stormy figure both on-screen and in life. Tallulah Bankhead was famous for her bisexual openness and eccentric behavior. Lana's connection with her was brief, but passionate and scandalous. They met at a private stage performance in London, where Tallulah's vibrancy immediately captivated Lana. She was wild, unpredictable, and full of life. Turner is said to have confessed, "But she made me feel like a souvenir, something picked up one night and then left behind." Lana was horrified to discover that Tallulah had boasted about their encounter at a Hollywood party, leading to a grudge that lasted until Bankhead's death. My commentary: Tallulah embodied the unrestrained freedom of the era, but for Lana, who always had to hide, it was a deadly betrayal, highlighting the conflict between personal character and societal pressure. It's a bit sensational, but also full of tragedy, isn't it? 4. Joan Crawford. No rivalry in classic Hollywood burned as fiercely as that between Lana Turner and Joan Crawford. Their rumored romance arose from mutual attraction and the desire to outdo each other. According to unverified reports, their passionate connection shattered after a jealousy incident at a charity party in Beverly Hills, where Joan is said to have openly flirted with Lana's husband at the time. They first met at an international film conference, where the professional atmosphere quickly turned personal. Turner's legendary anger: "She was poison in pearls. I don't hate many people, but I hate what Joan did to me." Joan and Lana were like two sides of the same coin, both icons of feminine power, but this romance revealed toxic competition, making me think it was not just love but a battle for fame, contributing to Lana's emotional tragedy. Imagine that jealousy. In an era where everything had to be discreet, it must have burned her soul. 5. Ann Sheridan, the oomph girl of Warner Brothers. Ann Sheridan shared mutual admiration with Turner during their peak studio years. Their rumored romance simmered with sexual tension in private meetings at a secluded garden in Hollywood Hills, where they happened to meet during a discreet picnic. But when a role both vied for was given to Turner, Sheridan is said to have cut off all contact. Lana felt deeply betrayed, later telling close ones, "I shared a bed with her, but she stole my spotlight." Turner saw this betrayal as both professional and personal, something she never forgave. Ann represented the common professional jealousy in Hollywood, and Lana listing her here shows she learned to protect herself, turning pain into strength. A lesson I find very inspiring in the modern context. For our generation, stories like this remind us of the value of loyalty, even in the glamorous world. 6. Marlene Dietrich. With her European sophistication and bisexual allure, Marlene Dietrich enchanted many women in Hollywood, including Lana. Their discreet romance was full of charm and secrecy, but Dietrich, always the dominant figure, refused emotional connection. They met at an art exhibition in Paris during a business trip, where the romantic atmosphere ignited passion. Lana is said to have ended the relationship in disappointment, declaring, "She dressed like a man, kissed like a god, and treated me like her mirror." Turner later admitted she couldn't stand someone who loved their own image more than her. Marlene was a symbol of narcissism, and from my perspective, this romance emphasizes Lana's loneliness. She sought true love but often encountered illusions, making her emotional journey more poignant. It's a blend of European mystery and American pain, a chapter that makes us ponder deeply. 7. Gene Tierney. The stunning and tragic beauty Gene Tierney is perhaps the most mysterious among Lana's rumored lovers. Their relationship was brief and full of emotion. Turner, reeling from personal traumas at the time, sought solace in Tierney's quiet strength. They met at a discreet group therapy session in Los Angeles, where empathy led to passion. But Tierney's struggles with mental illness quickly overshadowed their connection. Lana is said to have distanced herself out of fear and guilt, something she admitted haunted her. She needed help, and I gave her passion instead. Though sad, Turner listed Gene among those she could no longer face, not out of anger, but shame. My final analysis: Gene represented human fragility, and this romance is the emotional climax of the list, reminding us that Lana, though strong, was still a victim of her time, where same-sex love had to be buried in darkness, leading to eternal regret. It's a deeply moving end to this list. Though never publicly confirmed, these secret romances and hatreds paint a more complex portrait of Lana Turner, an actress who not only faced public spotlight but survived an emotional labyrinth of forbidden love and betrayal. Each name on the list is not just an ex-lover, but a ghost of desire, regret, and challenge, in an era where such truths had to remain forever in the shadows. From my personal perspective, these stories are not just scandals but reminders of the power of resilience, making Lana an immortal icon. She lived a life full of emotion, from the heights of joy to the depths of pain. In her autobiography, Lana, the Lady, the Legend, the Truth, in 1982, she shared honestly about the price of fame for our generation, who have gone through so many upheavals. Lana is proof that no matter how stormy life is, grace and determination can still shine. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share with friends. We'll meet again in the next video with other secrets from old Hollywood. Goodbye, and have a peaceful day.